أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير خلق الله المصطفى أبا القاسم محمد. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and with praise and peace upon the greatest of God's creations, Al-Mustafa Abul Qasim Muhammad and his pure progeny, salawat. Respected scholars, respected guests, respected sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As Al-Rasool Islamic Center and on behalf of the collaborators in Sayid Jawad, TMA UFT, St. George, York, and Toronto Metropolitan, we would like to congratulate the Imam of our time, the Islamic Ummah, and our respected scholars on the birth of Al-Zaki, Sayyid Al-Sajidin, Zain Al-Abidin, Al-Imam Sajad alayhi salam, Sallu ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. And in doing so, we would like to welcome you all to the third and final night of our Mawlid Al-Aqmar celebration. On behalf of everyone involved, I would truly like to thank you all for your attendance and patience with us, and hopefully we can end on a beautiful night. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Opening the gates of blessings on us today, verses from the Holy Quran, mesmerizing our ears and purifying our intentions. Please help me in welcoming Brother Saif al-Husseini to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وجعلناهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا وأوحينا إليهم فعل الخيرات وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وكانوا لنا عابدين. ولوطا آتيناه حكما وعلما ونجيناه من القرية التي كانت تعمل الخبائث إنهم كانوا قوم سوء فاسقين. وأدخلناه في رحمتنا إنه من الصالحين. ونوحا إذ نادى من قبل فاستجبنا له فنجيناه وأهله من الكرب العظيم. ونصرناه من القوم الذين كذبوا بآياتنا إنهم كانوا قوم سوء فأغرقناهم إنهم كانوا قوم سوء فأغرقناهم أجمعين. وداود وسليمان إذ يحكمان في الحرث إذ نفشت فيه غنم القوم وكنا لحكمهم شاهدين. ففهمناها سليمان وكلا آتينا حكما وعلما وسخرنا مع داود الجبال يسبحن والطير وكنا فاعلين وعلمناه صنعة لبوس لكم لتحصنكم من بأسكم فهل أنتم شاكرون وعلمناه صنعة لبوس لكم لتحصنكم من بأسكم فهل أنتم شاكرون ولسليمان الريح عاصفة تجري بأمره إلى الأرض التي باركنا فيها وكنا بكل شيء عالمين آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم وافلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد
Jazakallah khair, Saif Al-Husseini. Always a pleasure to have you recite, and inshallah we'll be seeing more of you tonight. For Saif's beautiful recitation, can we please get a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad? The one who prostrated, the one who spent a lifetime in prayer, the ornament of the worshippers, that is Sayid al-Sajidin. There is storytellers, and there is prayers. There is 1,000 nights. There is 1,000 nights in one night. And there is Sayid al-Sajidin with 1,000 prayers in one night. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Our next portion of tonight's program is a poet that we have grown to adore over the last 2 days. A poet carrying one of the flags of Ahlul Bayt with his eloquence and illustrative poetry. All the way from London, England, Brother Nouri Sardar. Brother Nouri has spent many of his youthful years diligently depicting the Ahlul Bayt in his unique poetic and writing styles. Doing so has allowed him to publish multiple books and multiple poems used and recited by many eulogy reciters. Please help me in welcoming Brother Nouri Sardar to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
صلي على محمد وآل محمد. The Alis are connected. The Alis are connected. Ali's strike at Khandak was greater than the worship of all humanity. The Alis, they are all connected. Ali's strike at Khandak was greater than the worship of all humanity. And yet Ali Sajad became the king of worship by praying for the victory of his grandfather Ali. And yet Ali Sajad, he became the king of worship by praying for the victory of his grandfather Ali. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. I wanted to dedicate some time inshallah today to reciting poetry in honor of our 12th Imam, Imam Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman, may Allah hasten his reappearance. Of course, the past 2 days we've been celebrating, rightfully so, the birth of the heroes of Karbala, and I've recited some poetry in their honor. And I want to dedicate some time first to our 12th Imam, to remind us of this Imam that is still living, that is still there for us and still helping us, though we may not see it. And also some poetry in honor of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And the first poem I recite starts with me saying how I wish I could read the Lord's agenda. How I wish I could read the Lord's agenda and see where the Mahdi fits in his grand agenda. O you, O Allah, who doesn't differ between a race or a gender, when will I see you and Isa side by side? When will I see you and Isa side by side? And watch the 313 walk side by side, and see you at the grave of your mother that you sat and you side by side, and watch your thousands of lovers awestruck, as if struck by lightning, but by awestruck, at your service, willing to be killed or cut or struck, drowning in both your love and its intensities. Drowning in both your love and its intensities, left at the mercy of you and your intensities, living in the world, not in just one or in two or in 10 cities. From God himself, even the believer knows you're sent. From Allah himself, even the believer knows you're sent. From good, even the disbeliever knows you're sent. Your words attract the ear and attracts the nose. You're sent, O Mahdi, and your lovers today are in grave danger. O Mahdi, your lovers today, they are in grave danger. Even the widows and the orphans, they face grave danger. Even beside the most recent martyr's grave danger, I began counting the bodies, and I counted 4. Until that number rose and I couldn't recall why I counted 4. This blood that flows like rivers will never be accounted for. Could it be for a hatred, a vengeance, or a greed? Could it be for a hatred, a vengeance, or a greed? Our generosity is great, so it can't be for a greed. I turned to you and I said it's time. And you agreed, knowing that of our patience there truly remains not an ounce. You know that of our patience there truly remains not an ounce. Of strength to continue there remains not an ounce. Will tomorrow be another day where your return you will not announce? O you whose grandfather taught caliphs what govern meant. O you, O Mahdi, whose grandfather taught caliphs what govern meant. To Ali, how precious, and how sacred the word government. Rise up, O Mahdi, Ya Sahib al-Zaman, and establish your government, because to leave you like the people of Kufa, would we dare, Master? How could we, after years of waiting for our dear Master? I write a letter, and I begin it with dear Master, knowing that breaks your heart, not a strong ummah, but a weakened one. I know that breaks your heart, not a strong ummah, but a weakened one. Not a strong orphan or widow, but a weakened one. How many of us are still waiting for you, O the awakened one, to topple the values of Bani Umayyah, to topple the values of Bani Umayyah. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I'm sure you can give me a louder salawat. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And I know, mashallah, this community, I know that was that Aital or I don't understand what you're saying. What does that mean? Repeat the whole thing? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala It's a long poem. Time is short, brother. Time is short. I'll recite a second one. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Continuing poetry in honor and praise of Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. May Allah hasten his reappearance. We all know that one of the greatest things that we have and we own in this life is the walaya of Ali. And there is a hadith, inshallah, I'll refer to later on, but when someone comes to Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam, someone who's suffering from poverty, and he tells him, "Oh Imam, I am poor." And he says, "Do you have the walaya of Ali?" The man says, "Yes." He says, "Will you sell it for 1 dinar?" He says, "No." 10 dinars? No. 1,000,000? No. He goes, "Then how can you say you are poor? Because you have something that you wouldn't sell for anything." And we know that when you have something that is very valuable, it is envied by others. And what we have as the walaya of Ali and the belief in Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman is something valuable and something envied by others, which is why we see all over the world, us as Shia are attacked and hunted and killed for this love of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And it's here, I tell Sahib al-Zaman, I tell him that they call me a disbeliever, a kafir, for believing in your love. When I know that belief itself is knowing that loving you is enough. They call me a disbeliever, a kafir, for believing in your love. When I know that belief itself is knowing that loving you is enough, because indeed that is wilaya. What? The belief that love is stronger. It's true, my eyes can't see you, but my eyes, they are made of mere flesh. My mind knows that in your absence, my soul is left in unrest. Because I know that my heart just cannot rest unless by your heart it is caressed. Such is your love that it is light, and all those untouched are left in darkness. Tyrants, they envy your absence, because by it we are all oppressed. Whenever I see clouds cover the sun, you'll see that my gaze darts both east and west. They tell me that my love for you can only be a lie, when I know it's the only truth that the most wretched deny. For this they call me a liar, the belief that love is stronger. While we are lost in your absence, you'll see that hearts grow grit. That what was once frail has become tough. Your remembrance is like Allah's. Ya Sahib al-Zaman, your remembrance is like Allah's, because when we say Mahdi, the hearts become soft. When tongues hold your name, it's as if the world and all of its hardships are hushed. Your name is a cure, and why not? Because you are birthed from the grains of Karbala's dust. Your name is raised, much like Hussein's, while tyrants' castles, they sit in rust. Nothing is complete without your love. Nothing is complete without your love. And at the same time, it is enough. Your grandfather completed faith, and your existence completes him. The victims of Ali's sword, they have your name antagonized them. Then there is one belief greater, the belief that love is stronger. It must now be the end of times, because good is replaced by another. Today they see a lover and they label him as a kafir. Today they see a lover and they label him as a kafir. Surely they would be accountable for their lack of love. Were life fair, when to the oppressors of Zahra their wrists and their necks they tether. But know that there is no justice for love. No, there is no justice for love, and no worldly reward either. Knowing how difficult it is, we take Ali and no other, because we know that to believe in Allah's will and love Ali, they say, is disbelief. They say to believe in Allah's will and love Ali is disbelief. It's as if Allah's faith was stolen and now we worship its thief. Then this, what can be worthier? The belief that love is stronger. We must now be at the end of times, because alive is Muhammad's qawl when he says that holding on to belief will be like holding on to hot coal. We must now be at the end of times, because alive is Muhammad's qawl when he said that holding on to belief will be like holding on to hot coal. The faithful say, let the hand burn, because more important is the soul. And for that purity we shall give our bones and body and all, because the Mahdi is no fairy tale, and beautiful shall be his rule. So we shall walk toward his return, so we shall work toward his return, like mining earth to find its jewel. However tough it becomes to hold on to Wilayah, you'll find us crushed behind the door, just like Fatima al-Zahra. The belief that creates martyrs is the belief that love is stronger. So let the envious loathe, and let beauty remain with us. Let the envious loathe, and let beauty remain with us, because Muhammad extended a trust, and onto it our hands are clutched. That trust was poisoned, struck and bled. That trust was poisoned, struck and bled. Behind doors and beneath horses crushed, because they are known to be gold, while their enemies are mere dust. So against the norm, against worlds, against all temptations and lust, we love all that is truth, and love us that same truth must. So when we die, when we are buried, and when we are forgotten, we who are once dubbed kuffar shall await our intercession. We who were once dubbed as kuffar shall await our intercession, and will take to the hereafter what? The belief that love is stronger. We'll take to the hereafter the belief that love is stronger. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, I'm going to recite some verses in honor of Imam Ali alayhi salam, because as you know, the great hadith that we all know of, where the Holy Prophet says, Dhikru aliyun ibadah. So inshallah, together we will shall bask in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not before the loudest of salawat on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I say that against the world we still cry, Ya Ali. How much they made bitter your sweet name, and sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, it's not that your name was once bitter and now is sweet. Prophets' tongues have tasted your name before those same tongues learnt to speak. Your name sits on prophets' tongues, while their names sit on parrots' beaks. Your name sits on prophets' tongues, while their names sit on parrots' beaks. Let them recite or not recite. If they take our tongues, then still we shall write of Muhammad's self and light and sight, and Ahmed's one true successor. When they bring you down, you still rise, Ya Ali. On God's throne they'll find your name engraved, and sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, let them place you forth, let them place billions before you. It matters not, as they are lies, while truth is with you, and you are with truth. Ya Ali, let them place you forth. Let them place billions before you. It matters not, as they are lies, while truth is with you, and you are with truth. If all companions deserted you, that just means the believers were few. If all companions deserted you, that just means the believers were few. Like at Uhud and Hunain, they would flee while you'd remain. They took steps toward obliteration while you took steps to the hereafter. Always in your sight was your Lord, Ya Ali. Tongues that taste your name never complain, because sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, 300 verses descended on Muhammad in your praise. Allah did not write your name in them, because He knew your name they would erase. Allah did not write your name in them, because He knew their name, your name they would erase. The book of Allah defended you, and you defended its every page. Back against back, you and the book. You compiled it, and there they shook, knowing that your right they took in a lust for fleeting power. Inside the Quran is your praise, Ya Ali. However much your name brings them shame, greatness it became, and sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, can they ever bring you down when judgment day rests on your heel? Because only hypocrites hate you, and only hypocrites burn in hell. Sunni and Shia both praise your sweet name. Sunni and Shia both praise your sweet name, while holds hatred for you only evil. Evil that spreads fear and terror for those that claim God but claim no Haydar, leaving all Muslims to suffer with no safety and no respite either. Those who hold their grasp on you, Ya Ali, shall never have an abode of pain because sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, know that they can reverse against itself the turn of the earth, and our woman will still recite your name as two more Alis they give birth. Ya Ali, know that they can reverse against itself the turn of the earth, and our woman shall still recite your praise as two more Alis they give birth. Hearts that hold the dislike of your name were born to wombs that have no worth. Hearts that hold the dislike of your name were born to wombs that have no worth. Such is the womb that loves Ali. Comfort it gives to its baby, and those that know not of purity cannot know the pureness of Haydar. Only the pure know you, of you are Ali. The milk that in your praise it proclaimed, sweetness it remains. Ya Ali, while they walk the earth aimlessly, we stand firm in Najaf. Ya Ali, while they walk the earth aimlessly, we stand firm in Najaf. In a world full of disbelief, your sweet land knows nothing but belief. It is our eternal abode in a world where even breath is theft. Your dome is a crown upon our heads, and as death comes, our bodies are led to that place where Noah's ark once made its bed, and there our bodies shall lie forever. For your intercession is our Savior, Ya Ali. When all departed, we saw that your rescue came. Inshallah, when all departed, we saw that your rescue came because sweetness, your name remains. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Give me a second, other salawat, please. And one more in honor of Ali ibn Talib alayhi salam. Inshallah, I'm going to end with a poem. As I mentioned, the hadith earlier, for those who just walked in, the hadith where someone poor comes to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam and says, I am poor. He complains of being in poverty. Imam Sadiq asks him if he has walai. He says, yes. He said, then how can you be poor? Because you have something that no one would ever buy, or you would never sell this to anyone. No matter how poor you are, this thing that you have, even if you have no house, no car, no money, nothing, as long as you have walai, it's something that you wouldn't give for even the world in your hands. And it's here that I ask, how can I ever taste poverty when I have Amir al-Mu'mineen and I have a belief that I will never give away? How can I and how can we ever taste poverty when I have Amir al-Mu'mineen and a belief that I'll never give away? So tell the one who with wilayah still complains of the empty pocket where only pennies remain, what dollar in sweat or in blood can you attain that can compare to salvation on Judgment Day? What dollar in sweat or in blood that you attain can compare to salvation on Judgment Day? What you hold within your heart is more valuable than the most sought after gold, diamonds and pearls. You give up your house, you give up your children, and you give up the world, but your walai you'll never give away. The walai of Ali is like a best friend, something wealth and health and friends can never comprehend. Money, friends and family, they sway like the wind. Money, friends and family, they sway like the wind, but wilayah by your side, forever it stays. Be it that you find breadcrumbs to feast upon, or you find that from thirst barren is your tongue, sip from Ali's wilayah, and there you'll find within nourishment to feed you while all food decays. Call Ali in poverty, and he will bring not just fleeting wealth, but in fact everything. You'll not trade wilayah for anything, and you'll stand with it on the day that all feet sway, because Ali's wilayah is priceless. Ali's wilayah is priceless. Ali's love worth all and not less. Ali's love is like a fortress that no devil can break through. Ali, no one can come near him. Ali, the first and the last hymn. Ali, they can tear you limb from limb and his love still won't leave you. Ali, the striker of marhab. Ali's love sits between the ribs. Ali's love is like a spider's web, like a spider's web that only the purest get caught in. Ali's love is a divider. Ali, the only successor. Ali's hand is the divider between between hell and heaven. Ali will never leave your side. Ali will never leave your side. Ali, in him you can confide. Ali is alive and he resides in the hearts of his lovers. Ali and you will never part. Ali's heart is one with your heart. Ali's name is never apart from his lover forever. Ali's love, it quenches the thirsty. Ali's walaya, you'll find it to be mighty. Ali's sword tears up poverty, just like it killed the men at Safin. Ali's turban holds beneath it Ali, the killer of Ibn Wid. Ali, whenever he was hid, you'd find that his truth by worlds was seen. Ali's love cannot be traded. Ali's name remains unfaded. Ali, the one undefeated name, while all names become dust. Ali, the king who needs no crown. Ali, in the ghettos he can be found. Ali, the king who needs no crown. Ali, in the ghettos he can be found. Ali's name to heaven is bound, and in Allah we put our trust. Ali's name in heavens is bound, and in Allah we put our trust. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Sayid here? He's on his way? Carry on? Finish? No? Okay. All right. Salli ala Muhammad wa Muhammad. Before I end, I just wanted to thank the organizers very much for allowing me to come here and serve you. It's my privilege and honor to be able to serve and recite for Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam wherever I am. I hope that whatever words I recited perhaps inspired you to love and serve the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And if not, please forgive me, please forgive my shortcomings, and inshallah we'll see you again soon. Please keep me in your du'as. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you endlessly once again to Brother Nouri for mesmerizing and inspiring our tongues and ears for the past 3 nights. Jazakallah khair, inshallah your work continues to enlighten and raise the status of Ahlul Bayt. So help me in praising his hard work one last time with the loudest of your voices. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, we continue to see Nouri Sardar in Toronto and at our majlis. Thank you once again. Our next segment is once again with Brother Saif al-Husseini. Now, I know what he is doing in this segment. He's not reading Quran again. But I won't tell you what he is doing. I'll just let you enjoy it. So please help me in welcoming the talented Brother Saif al-Husseini to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. Mysterious introduction. أصلي وصلي أحب الصايم الربو يصلي وحب الدوم وصلوا يصلي وحب اللي رفع صوته يصلي على الهادي وعترة الهاشمية صلوات. أصلي وصلي وصلي أحب الصايم لربه يصلي وحب الدوم وصلوا يصلي وحب اللي رفع صوته يصلي على الهادي وعترة الهاشمية صلوات. وسلمن 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 يا طيور العشق صلن وسلمن انا حاير ناشد من واسأل وسلمن إذا عمار بن ياسر وسلمان عجزوا عن وصف حامي الحمية صلوات. وسلمل 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 يا طيور العشق صلل وسلمل أنا حاير ناشد من واسأل من وسلمل إذا عمار بن ياسر وسلمان عجزوا عن وصف حامي الحمية وبيذر 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 بقاع المرتضى انثرني وبيذر أنا عشقت بعالم الدنيا وبالذار علمني عشق مالك وابو ذار رهيب بحب علي يا علي حد المنية صلوات زهرة 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 سماها إله الكون زهرة وفاحت من جنان النور زهرة عطارد مشتر ونبتل وزهرة الكواكب تلحل النور الزكية صلوات زهرة 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 سماها إله الكون زهرة وفاحت من جنان النور زهرة عطارد مشتن ونبتل وزهرة والكواكب تلحل النور ورزكية صلوات السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Jazakallah khair, Sayid Al-Husseini. That was a good surprise, huh? I kept it a secret for a reason. Please help me in appreciating Sayid for that beautiful abudiyya with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now Imam Al-Sajad, he is known as the one who prays. He is the ornament of worshippers. But some of our youth may not know that he also had a sermon in Sham. He also was very powerful. It is often looked at the person who is religious or prays as someone who is not the strongest, someone who, he just prays. But Imam Zain al-Abidin was very strong. Someone who was, you could say, orphaned at a very young age, lost his mother after he was born, and then lost his father in Karbala. But throughout all that, he had one person, or one God, let's say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm going to read, in a bit of a poetic manner, his sermon, and I just want you to feel the strength of this man after everything he went through, and to the point where he said, the toughest part about Karbala wasn't Karbala, it was Sham, Al-Sham, Al-Sham. So he starts off with, in the courtyard, Allah has granted us 6 and given us excellence in 7. Allah has given us knowledge and Allah has given us patience, eloquence, generosity, forbearance, and the believers' love for us. And He has given us excellence in 7. From us is Rasulullah. From us is Ali, from us is Hamza, from us is Ja'far, from us is Hassan, from us is Hussein, and from us is the Mahdi. From us is Rasulullah, from us is Ali, from us is Hamza, from us is Ja'far, from us is Hassan, from us is Hussein, and from us is the Mahdi. Those of you who know me, know me. Those of you who don't, let me tell you who I am. I am the son of Mecca and Mina. I am the son of Zamzam and Safa. I am the son of the best of man to have held the black stone in his robe, and the best of them to have circumambulated the Kaaba. I am the son of the man who was taken by Buraq through the air. I am the son of the man who led the angels in prayer. I am the son of the man who was taken to Sidrat al-Muntaha. I am the son of Muhammad al-Mustafa. I am the son of Ali al-Murtada. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The one who fought the disbelievers until they said, La ilaha illallah. The one who fought the disbelievers until they said, La ilaha illallah. I am the son of the man who fought the two swords with the two spears, who went on 2 migrations. I am the son of the believers, pious one, the descendant of the prophets, the annihilator of the polytheists, the commander of the faithful, the glory of the worshippers. I am the son of the man who fought the disbelievers and exterminated their progenies, the man who was the best of them in prayer, the guardian of Allah's wisdom and his arrow targeting all the hypocrites. I am the son of master. I am the son of the master of Iraq and the lion of Hijaz. I am the son of a Mecca and a Madani and a Badri and a Khifi and a Aqabi and a Muhajjari and an Ansari. That's my grandfather, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then he says, I am the son of the masters of youth of paradise, Hassan and Hussein. I am the son of Fatima al-Zahra. I am the son of the man who was slain on the earth of Karbala. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Our next segment and final lecture of our Mawlid Al-Aqmar celebration is with the respected guest and scholar all the way from Houston, Texas, Sayid Jawad Qazwini. At the youthful age of 16, Sayid Jawad began his religious studies in California, and since then has become an internet sensation with over 130,000 followers on Instagram, all attributing to his insightful clips addressing the youth about problems in our society. Please help me, and this is the last time we'll be welcoming to the minbar for this program. Please help me with the loudest of your voices in welcoming Sayid Jawad to the minbar with 3 loud salawats ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم أرنا الطلعة الرشيدة والغرة الحميدة واكحل ناظرنا بنظرة منا إليه وعجل فرجه وسهل مخرجه برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Sweeten your gathering with a remembrance of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. As a gift to the soul of Sayyidina wa Mawlana Al-Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein Zainul Abidin, recite the second salawat. For Allah to shower onto this gathering with His infinite mercy and compassion, and to hasten the reappearance of Sayyidina wa Mawlana Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman, recite the third salawat with the loudest of your voices. In a tradition, a farmer came to Al-Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi salatu was-salam, and he says to him, Ya ibn Rasulullah, I am a humble farmer, and I come to you from a city named Ahwaz, which was, today it's part of Iran, used to be part of Iraq, I believe, at the time. And I have been ordered to pay a huge sum of taxes, and I would never be able to do so. The amount that is asked of me is extremely burdensome. And I have heard that the governor of Ahwaz is one of your lovers. He's one of your followers in taqiyya. If you may, Ya ibn Rasulullah, help me. If you write something to him, I may be able to take this to the governor, and he may reduce some of the taxes so that I can continue making a living. And this may happen to many of us, brothers and sisters. At times, especially when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us influence, a name, status, honor and respect within society, we may be asked to intercede on behalf of people. And we unfortunately sometimes find that to be a burden. And inshallah, we will get to the fact that this is indeed the greatest of blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon His creation. For helping others in the religion of Islam and according to the Holy Quran is a privilege bestowed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon the people. Imam al-Sadiq went, says, grab me a paper and pen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He made a very general statement, extremely brief. Inna lillahi dhillan yawma la dhilla lah. On the day of judgment, there is dhil, a shadow, a comfortable place, a place of mercy and compassion. On the day of judgment, where everybody's looking for comfort, everybody's looking for the compassion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this shadow is bestowed upon those who solve the problem of their brethren, who seek to solve the problems of the mu'mineen. وَهَذَا أَخُوكَ. And this man carrying the letter is your brother. Wassalam. The Imam didn't make a specific request to that man. The Imam made a general statement so that thousands of years later, the statement is still applicable. 1,400 years later, the statement is applicable. If you want comfort on the day of judgment, if you want the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, This is a route that you may take. This man took the letter. He went back to Ahwaz. He sat in the presence of Najashi. He told him, what do you need? He said, I'm going to wait until everybody leaves. Everybody left. He came and he gave him the letter. The governor looked at the letter. It is sealed and signed by Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. He kissed the letter. He put it on top of his head. He said to him, you've carried a handwritten letter from the Imam, the Ma'soom, Hujjatullah, Hujjat al-Hujja ala al-Khalaiq, Hujjatullahi ala al-Khalaiq. I have to thank you. What is it that you need? He said, I have to pay the taxes and I cannot, and it's a burden for me. He called his personal assistant. He said to him, how much does this man owe in taxes? He said 200 dirhams. He said, give him 200 dirhams. You may go and pay your taxes tomorrow. The man said, no, I have some money. I just wanted a discount. He said, no, go pay your taxes tomorrow. He was about to leave. He said to him, where are you going? He said to him, khalas. My hajj is now over. I'll go, I'll leave. If you excuse me, he said, no, you're not excused. Do you have a home? He says, no, I don't have a home. I'm a humble farmer. He said to his personal assistant, how many homes and pieces of land do I own? He went, he looked, he said, for example, 10, 12. He said, give half of them to this man. So he came and he gave him a file of 5, 6, 7 homes, their deeds, they're yours. The man said, please, this is not necessary. I don't need that. He said, take them. He was about to leave. He said to him, sit down. Do you have horses? He said, no, I'm a simple farmer. How would I own horses? He asked his personal assistant, how many horses do I have in my stables? For example, he told him 20. He said, give half of them to this man. Again, he gave him another half. How many slaves, how many servants, how many workers, everything that this man owned, 50% of it went to this man. At last, when he was leaving, this is the important part of the story. At last, when he was leaving, he said, are you pleased? Have I done justice to you? He said, you have done more than enough. I don't know how to thank you. He said to him, I'll tell you how to thank me. When you go back to Medina, go to Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq and inform him of what I have done. He said to him, that's it. I will do that. Months later, maybe a year later, he went to Medina. He sees Imam al-Sadiq. Imam al-Sadiq says to him, tell me what happened with the letter that I sent you. What happened with the governor? And he begins to tell him the story, and he says that I can see the face of the Imam illuminating with joy. The Imam is smiling. He's very happy. When he says the story, he said, Ya ibn Rasulullah, it seems that this man really made you happy. He made you joyful. He said, Bala wallah. I swear in Allah's name that he has made me happy. You see, the issue is, brothers and sisters, many of us think that we make the Imam happy through, for example, only his visitation and his ziyarah, only through attending the majalis, only through shedding tears for the A'imma, only through reading certain du'as. The greatest form you will see of making your Imam happy is through solving the problems of the mu'mineen. He says, Wallah, not only me, but he has pleased Rasulullah. Wallah, he has pleased me, Rasulullah, and my grandfather, Amir al-Mu'mineen. And then the Imam says this statement, Wallah qad sarra Allah fi arshih. He has pleased Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His throne. One of the greatest ways of seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, is not only through Hajj, it's not only through Siyam, it's through this solving the problems of others. And as we gather in such nights, we find that within the biography of our Imams, Al-A'imma Al-Athhar and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a great portion of their life was dedicated to this cause. قضاء حوائج الناس, قضاء حوائج المؤمنين. Traditions say that they used to find Amir al-Mu'mineen when he became the Khalifa in Kufa sitting in front of his home في الظهيرة. Now who would do that? If you go to Iraq today, you realize that in the time of noon, nobody leaves his house. Everybody's sleeping, especially when it's summer. Now you have air condition and you have AC at home and different things. Back then there was no such things. And Amir al-Mu'mineen didn't go into the palace of the Khilafah, so it becomes difficult for people to approach him. No. Amir al-Mu'mineen created a temporary home. He said, I don't have time to create a big home. Create a temporary home. Some traditions say he could not even walk fully standing in that home because it was very small, but yet he would sit in front of his home. So one of the ashab came to him, he said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, why are you sitting in front of them? Go inside. He says, because if somebody wants to find me, it would take some time for him to come, ask for me, knock at the door, or they may be shy. This is an opportunity. I have some free time. It's an opportunity for me لِأَقْضِي حَوَائِجَ النَّاسِ, so that I can solve the problems of people. I can be at their aid and their service. I don't want to delay this process that descends the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a woman came to him. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, my husband's about to beat me. My husband's about to divorce me. Please help me. The riwayah says Amir al-Mu'mineen says to himself, Qum ya Ali. Get up. This is the time for you to do something. So he goes with this woman. They get to the home. He knocks at the door. They open the door. And he says to her, Adkhuli ya amat Allah. Go inside the home. And this guy says, who are you? Why is my wife coming home with you? I'm going to kill her, I'm going to burn her, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The neighbors came out. Said, you fool. Do you know what you're saying and doing? Do you know who he is? He says, no, I don't care who he is. This woman came with. This is Amir al-Mu'mineen. This is Al-Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. He fell onto the feet of Amir al-Mu'mineen. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, forgive me. I apologize to you. I didn't mean to disrespect you. Amir al-Mu'mineen said this statement to him. He said to him, you're ashamed of the eyes of the creation of Allah. But how can you escape the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And this dhulm that you are doing to your wife, to your family. They say Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi would dig wells outside Medina. He would work hard. So there was a man coming through, he saw Amir al-Mu'mineen. He didn't know him. The man was not even Muslim. So he sat with him. He said to him, you're here in the heat, you're working by yourself. I'm just going to sit and spend some time with you. And when he started speaking with Amir al-Mu'mineen, he realized this guy is no ordinary labor worker. Every word that comes out of him is wisdom, is gold. So he was confused. How can this guy with so much knowledge, with so much wisdom, be out in the middle of the desert digging wells? Yet when I speak to him, I've never experienced this much knowledge and wisdom from anybody else. So the time for salah comes, Amir al-Mu'mineen goes, washes up, he does his wudu, he does his salah, then he tells him, would you like to share some of my food? I have, put some lunch together for me. Would you like to share this food with me? So he thought to himself, this man, working so hard, must have, quzi or taman bagilla or something on the side. And Amir al-Mu'mineen took out a small piece of bread, hard piece of bread. And he said to him, one piece is for you, one piece is for me. So he looked at this. What is this? Imam found out right away. He said to him, I think you don't like this food. He said to him, yeah, I don't like this food. This is not even food. So he said to him, would you like to eat some good food? He said, yes. He said, then don't stay here. Go to the city. Go to the city and ask for the house of Al-Hasan ibn Ali. His home is always open. Guests come from all over and he does not ask them who you are, where you're from, what you want. And there you will find some delicious food. So this man came asking for the house of Al-Hasan. Where is the house of Al-Hasan? They told him this is the house of Al-Hasan al-Mujtaba. He went in and Imam al-Hasan took care of him. When everybody ate, they saw that this man says to Imam al-Hasan, give me some extra food I would like to take with me. Imam al-Hasan says, there is no need. You're taking it to your family? Bring your family here. You're taking it to your friends? No need. Bring your friends here. He said, no, not my family and my friends. Some poor farmer, he was digging wells outside Medina. He has no food, small piece of bread. And he asked me to have lunch with him. I saw the food. It's not food that you can eat, really. So I just want to take some food to him. He said, describe this man to me. He described him. He said, this man will not eat this food. He said to him, how do you know? He said, because I know. He said, no, please tell me. You know him? He said, yes, I know him. Who is he? He is my father. You see that within the biography of every single one of them, an extremely important quality and characteristic was قضاء حوائج الناس. Being close to the people, serving the people. And in return, what do they do? What do they ask for? In return, what do they ask for? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds in the Holy Quran. You don't need me to tell you. 3 days Allah has a witness. The last revelation of Allah has a witness. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. We don't even want you to say thank you to us. 3 days Ahlul Bayt are fasting. And they get a knock at their door and they give out their food to the impoverished, to those in need. And in return, they don't ask for anything. There was a alim, a grand alim, living in Najaf, Al-Ashraf. And he was known that when people come to him, he solves their problems. Anyone that comes to him with any sort of request, he does his best. Even if he knows the request is going to fall on deaf ears, he still did it. In his biography, if you read, they say some guy came to him at 2 a.m. The Shaykh was sleeping, 2 a.m. Knocking. Shaykh came, half asleep. What do you need? He says to him, I need to pay off a loan by 8 a.m. If I don't pay off this loan, they will take my home. Shaykhna, please help me. The Shaykh, I'm sure he was very upset. I'm sure he had to control his anger. At 2 a.m., you're waking me up. 8 a.m., how am I going to pay you? How much is it? Said the Imam, the Shaykh doesn't have it at home. He said to him, listen, I can't. Everybody's sleeping right now. And before they wake up, you want your money. I can't do it. I'm sorry. He went and he slept. For the first time, he said no. He went and he slept. After Fajr, he saw Amir al-Mu'mineen in his dream. He said to him, Shaykh, if you don't feel like resolving the problems of others, if you don't feel like taking care of their hajat, we will send those people elsewhere. Allahu Akbar. It's an opportunity. If we say no to this golden opportunity, we will lose it. It'll go somewhere else. This opportunity will knock at the doors of others. And what is Imam Zayn al-Abidin known for? ما قال لا قط ما قال لا قط إلا في تشهده لولا التشهد كانت لاؤه Allahu Akbar. He never said no in his entire life, Zayn al-Abidin. And the poet says, if it wasn't for the la of Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, even then he would not have said la. Allahu Akbar. Even with his enemies, go read his biography. His enemies came to him, seeking refuge to him, and he never said no to them. However, brothers and sisters, sometimes we find even those who attribute themselves to the cause of Ahlul Bayt, to the religion of Islam, not having such a spirit. And this spirit must be exercised within us. What do I mean? Naturally as human beings, when we do something good for someone, naturally as human beings, our fitrah says that this person should thank you, should recognize you, should honor you. The hadith even teaches us, مَنْ لَمْ يَشْكُرَ الْمَخْلُوقِ لَمْ يَشْكُرَ الْخَالِقِ. You have to be thankful to the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's difficult if you do something good, if you do something noble, if you help others, and what do? They don't return your ihsan with ihsan. They come, for example, attacking you, harassing you, hurting you. So selflessness is something that has to be exercised within us. And selflessness has different aspects. Sometimes you find that people at an older age, he asks himself, what have I done? What have I achieved so far? And I want you to pay attention to this point. What have I achieved so far? I haven't achieved much. So let me go and find where I can become, feel important. And I'm not saying this as a joke. And they end up where? In the religious institutions. There's opportunities for volunteering. There's opportunities to, for example, lead an institution. And from service and volunteering, we see that individuals now exercise unnecessary authority over others. Do you understand what I mean or no? Authority is given, but now we want to exercise unnecessary authority over others so that I prove importance to myself. I want to feel good. I want to feel important. No, I've achieved something. And in order for me to satisfy and quench that thirst of feeling important, I'm going to go and make sure everybody knows I'm the boss around here. Be careful. Yesterday I spoke about how the Muslim community, especially the followers of Ahlul Bayt, had to go through a lot of difficulties and sacrifice and tribulations in order to create centers, houses of worship. But today, this is all connected, by the way, what I'm telling you right now. But today we have a huge challenge, and the challenge is to keep those places alive. To make sure that your children will name their children Muhammad and Ali and Fatima and Ruqayya, and they would want to marry Muslim Shia followers of the Ahlul Bayt, and that the legacy of Ahlul Bayt continues and such places are open and ready to serve. Do you understand this magnitude of this challenge? Today it's no longer about having the physical buildings. The physical buildings, mashallah, they are there and they're in the thousands. And the real estate that the followers of Ahl al-Bayt own in North America is in the hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. But why is it that the majority of those places are empty? The youth are not there. And if they are there and they're working tirelessly, they're not getting the support from those who need, you see, it's an investment. Invest in the youth because they are the future. Don't create centers and ideas for the past 30 years. Create something for the next 30 years. And that's where you should invest. So the problem is when there are people holding on to the grip of power because they want to exercise importance, self-worth. They say that there was back 40, 50 years ago, there was no running water in bathrooms. People had to go out to take a public bath, right? They didn't have showers at home. And even for toilets, for example, in public places, you'd have to go to a public bathroom and use the toilet there. So what they had there was, a person that stands there and gives you what we call brig, the watering can. Today, when you go to Walmart, nobody buys those watering cans except Muslims. And this is the only thing that we don't look for the discount. We don't care. This is discount, 50% off. Everything else has to be 50% off for us to buy except this. This we just go. And the weird part, I'm telling you, many people probably have this question in their mind. Because who buys, other than Muslims, who buys this watering can? Really? It's probably this old, retired, probably white people, Liz and whatever, Nikki, and they're going and they spend so much time to find the cutest one that matches their garden, and they buy it and they ask, what's the return policy? So they tell them the return policy is 30 days. 29th day, they're back there at Lowe's again. Oh, I didn't like this one. I'm going to buy another one. We go in there and we're buying 4. I'm telling you, the teller is probably thinking, do you water each plant with a different watering can, or what's the deal here? And we just, they're there for 45 minutes looking, we're there for 2 minutes and we're running out. Anyways, so there was this guy who was, you go into the public bathroom and he gives you the watering can, you go in there. When you leave, he takes care of the bathroom, you pay him something. I even remember this in some of the Muslim countries. So they say this guy, one day he came, he said, I quit. I'm not going to do this job anymore. Don't ask me why, I don't know why. So they said there is a job opening for this person that gives out the watering cans in the bathroom. They made an announcement. Many people applied, but then they saw this guy, he's wearing a suit. He looks like a proper guy, As British people say, he looked smart. So he came, he said, I would like to have this job. They said to him, sir, we feel that you're overqualified. You like the brother said, you look like a manager. What are you doing? He says, no, don't worry about it. I want this job. So if you insist, sure. So he said to himself, 60 years old. What am I going to tell people? I am in charge of the bathrooms in the bazaar. So he came up with a title, the Executive Director of the Bathroom Operations. Because we love titles. Whatever it is, even if it has to do with toilets, we love titles. That's why when you go back home, everybody's doctor. Doctor شنو عرج شنو هذا الدكتور? You don't know. As long as doctor. So everybody comes, the doctor, he gives them the watering can. By the way, this watering can, in Arabic it's called ibriq. You know that, right? Iraqi is briq. Lubnanin, ibriq. But in Urdu, I didn't know what it was called. This brother told us, lota. But I had to learn this the hard way. Anyways, I'll tell you maybe about that later. So this executive director of the lotas, one day somebody comes in and he doesn't ask permission. He grabs one of the lotas and he's running to the bathroom. He says, "Hey, where are you going?" So what happened? He says, "Come in, bring it back. Take the other one." He says, "Okay." Takes the other one. He goes in the bathroom. He comes out. He says, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I don't know why you told me not to take the first one and I had to switch it. I just want to know why you wanted me to switch the lota." He said to him, "You don't know?" He said, "No, it was the first one broken." He said, "No." "What was the issue?" He says, "You don't know the issue?" He says, "No, I really don't." He says, "Because you undermined my authority here. I needed to tell you who is the boss here. That's why I did it." The truth is sometimes the same exact things happens in our communities. And if people could, until today, they would still exercise their authorities using the lota. And that is why many of our centers are empty today. Many people feel detached. My opinion doesn't count. Why should I be? You see, because today you go to a store, simple store, you rent a car, as soon as you return your car, you get a text message. "Please tell us how we did." You go to the bank, you get a text message. "Please tell us how we did." You speak to an airline agent, as soon as you finish, you get a text message. "Please tell us how we did." Except when you come to the Islamic organizations today. "Please don't tell us how we did. We don't even care. Goodbye. You don't want to come? Don't come back." The entire globe and the entire world is working with transparency. And by the way, every time we say transparency, it doesn't mean it has to do with money. No. One form of transparency is when it comes to money. The greater form of transparency is what is the vision. You know, when Elon Musk sits and he describes his vision and people invest in his company, they don't really go and look at the fine details of, how much he spent on his private jet and how much he spent here and how much he paid the CEO. No. They look at the vision. They want to hear about the vision. They want to be part of the vision. Some of us, we don't even have a vision. We don't even know where we're headed. What is the plan? Do we have a plan for 7-year-olds so that by the time they get to bulugh, they are ready to obey the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while they are convinced of it? Because many times when he's 14 years old, yallah, we beat him up. Let's go. Let's do this. He doesn't even know why he's praying. She doesn't know why she's doing her hijab. She doesn't know, and he doesn't know the importance of waking up for Fajr. It's a routine and it's a ritual. And more importantly, you see, the generation previous to this generation that is born and bred in this country, they had to deal with other issues. For example, many of us, we come into from a mixed society of Sunni and Shia. Whether it's Pakistan, whether it's Iraq, whether it's Lebanon, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's... So the majority of us, we're experts. If you ask him, how is Imam Ali the Khalifa? He will give you all the hadiths from Bukhari, Muslim, narrations, ayat, riwayat. Because the manabir there focused on this and made them into experts. But today your son goes to school and he says, Baba, I heard today some guy by the name of Salman Rushdie, he was attacked. Why he was attacked? Because he wrote a book against Islam. Why should we kill him? What's your answer? The whole media is speaking about, for example, Mahsa Amini and why hijab is being enforced, and your son, your daughter comes to you. Why do we wear hijab? Why is hijab enforced? What do we do? What do we say? We don't have answers. Why did Rasulullah, for example, marry multiple wives? Have you taught your children this? Why do you have the word killing in the Quran while you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most compassionate, most merciful, and Islam is a religion of peace? Have we taught our kids this? Have we given them? Now when they go to society and they say, I am Muslim, I am a proud Muslim. They say, okay, you're a proud Muslim, come. He's taking Islamic studies at university. They ask him 5 questions. He's no longer a proud Muslim. Because the answers that he asks, listen, the questions he asks, he doesn't get the answers to. This generation is seen but not heard. And the answers they get, they don't need. Today, I don't need this information. I need other information that you're not giving me. It's not being at my disposal. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I began my address with speaking of the importance of qada hawa'ij al-nas, one of the greatest forms of aiding people is to enlighten their minds, to give them ilm, to lead them towards the true essence of Islam, and also to be part of aiding the cause of Allah, Rasulullah, and the Ahlul Bayt. Imagine the status you receive when you do qada hawa'ij al-nas. But what about if you become part of those who aid the cause of Amir al-Mu'mineen? Aid the cause of Al-Imam al-Hussein, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. That is indeed the most noble act. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran states the following, brothers and sisters. وَلَقَدْ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا. Allah speaks of the day of judgment. To whom? To people who are alive. وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا فُرَادًا, singular. كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ وَتَرَكْتُمْ مَا خَوَّلْنَاكُمْ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِكُمْ. Allah speaks of the day of judgment to people who are alive. They're breathing, they're living, they're walking. Allah says, you have returned to us like the day that you came to this life. And Allah is the only one who can do that. Speaks of the future and the past tense. Because I may make a promise to you, next week I'll come to your home. Who said I'm going to live next week? Who said I'm going to be able to walk next week? Who said my plans does not change? A person comes to Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says to him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, what is the easiest way for me to know Allah exists? He says, have you made plans? He says, of course I make plans. He says, have you realized that your plan suddenly shifts and changes? He says, yes, many times. He says, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding you that you're not in charge. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no. He makes a promise and He speaks of the future as if it's already happened. Meaning that, listen to me, and we are, by the way, entering the month of Quran. One way for us to do Khatm al-Quran is to look at the promises of Allah and to believe them and to incorporate them in our lives and not doubt them. One of those promises is this ayah. وَلَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا. Every one of you will come to us. Furada, singular. كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ. Just like the day you were born. When you were born, you didn't have a title. You didn't have money. You didn't have wealth. You weren't even clothed. And you will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that state. Yes, maybe on the tombstone they write, this is the tombstone of the alim, Ayatollah al-Uzma, Marji', emperor, president, poet, millionaire, trillionaire. On the tombstone, if we're lucky to have one. But when you go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are fulan, called through the name of your mother on the day of judgment. Nobody cares about your title. Nobody cares about your bank account. Nobody cares about your achievements. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَرَكْتُم مَا خَوَّلْنَاكُمْ وَرَاءَ ظُهُورِكُمْ. And you left what we allowed you to use behind you. Allah says that what you own today, you think you own your land, you think you own your home, you think you own your bank account. None of them is yours. You're just given permission to use it for some time. This is what the Quran says. Today you say, did you see my home? Did you see my land? Did you see my car? Did you see my... Allah says none of it is yours. Yesterday it belonged to someone else and tomorrow it will belong to someone else. Today you have the ability to use it. Use it to your advantage. Don't pile up the millions and leave it for whom? For your children and their children and 4 generations to come. You don't need to do that. Allah will take care of them. You take care of yourself and you take care of your akhirah. You take care of your grave. Soon, brothers and sisters, at an exponential rate, extremely fast approaching is death. Don't think, well, death is so far away from me. It is not. It will come and knocking at our door very soon. And the Hadith al-Qudsi says, يَا ابْنَ آدَمَ اليوم تمشي على ظهري وغدا تصبح في بطني. يا ابن آدم أنا بيت الوحشة أنا بيت الغربة فعمرني ولا تدمرني. This earth, every day it speaks to us. Today you walk on my back. Tomorrow you will be buried within me. Take care of me, beautify me, decorate me. Here in the dunya we care which neighborhood should I buy a home? Which one is the best zip code? Which one has the best school district? Who is my neighbor? Which neighborhood? But in the akhirah, do you even know you've secured yourself a place? Do you know? We go for a vacation for 4 days. We make sure we have a hotel reservation. But our eternal abode, we don't even know where we're going. Is it Jannah? Inshallah. Which part of Jannah? Which neighborhood? Many neighborhoods in Jannah. Choose yourself the best prime real estate in Jannah. And the time for that is now. Especially in those nights, the nights of Sha'ban, followed by the nights of Ramadan, where the doors of opportunities are open. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies what you have done and folds. And amongst them is aiding the cause of Imam al-Hussein. Being here, supporting, and doing whatever you can. Dedicate your life. With this I conclude, brothers and sisters. With this statement, I will gift to you tonight on the birth of Al-Imam Ali ibn al-Hussein and conclude. Dedicate the remainder of your life to the cause of Ahlul Bayt. Whatever there is left in it. And you have nothing to worry about and you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. You will not be poor, you will not be broke, you shouldn't be scared. If anything, things will only get so much better for you. Whatever is left, inshallah, many years. 1 day, 5 days, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Say, Ya Allah, I dedicate that to you. And that is the most meaningful thing to do. I dedicate that to you and to your cause, the Quran, the Ahl al-Bayt. And this is what we gain from such majalis. And in return to what I began my lecture with, it doesn't always necessarily have to be that you save $10,000 to go to Hajj and to go to Ziyarah. No. Save the $10,000 and give it to someone on the behalf of the Ahlul Bayt. Solve their problems. Sometimes people don't need money. Money anybody can give. They need your time. They need to be listened to. They need your emotions. They need you to solve a problem for them. That is what pleases the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the honor and the privilege and the tawfiq to be amongst those that aid the cause of the Ahlul Bayt, and they also have the honor and the privilege and the opportunity to do the khidmah to the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us raise our hands in this final night in dua and supplication, especially in such nights, blessed nights, the month of Sha'ban. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. 10 times. يا الله 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 يا Allah. Oh Allah, we ask you in the most beautiful names in your creation, Muhammadin wa Aliyin wa Fatima والحسن والحسين والتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين. Oh Allah, every man and woman present in this gathering with a sin, forgive our sins. Bestow upon us from your forgiveness. Brothers, you all know, you're mashallah, you all are aware. In the time of dua, we don't do this. In the time of dua, what do? We do this. This is what the Ahlul Bayt taught us. This is how Rasulullah would beg. As you're begging, as a beggar, and we do this only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and no one else. And when there is a dua, there has to be an ameen from the mu'mineen. Make this a habit. When there is a dua, there is an ameen from the mu'mineen, and there are traditions, inshallah, that your respected alim will share with you in times due of the etiquettes of this kind of dua. So raise your hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك قاضي الحاجات إنك على كل شيء قدير إنك بالإجابة جدير. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم شافي وعافي كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأجرنا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير. Oh Allah, every man and woman present in this majlis, write our names amongst the Zawar of Imam Al-Hussein, amongst the Zawar of his brother Abul Fathl Al-Abbas, his son Ali Al-Akbar, and his son Zain Al-Abidin in Medina, inshallah, قريبا عاجلا. And grant us their شفاعة آجلة وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والعلماء والشهداء وخدمة الحسين نهدي جميعا ثواب سورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات. أحسن الله إليكم.
أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أحسنت Sayid Jawad وجزاك الله خير. And thank you dearly. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. It's not loud enough. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. You know we have a Mawlid, so it has to be loud. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Thank you once again dearly to Sayid Jawad for your heartfelt member presence over the last 3 nights. There was a lot to be learned from you, and inshallah we continue to see you in Toronto in the coming years. Thank you once again. In the heat of battle, in the heat of the battle of Karbala, Imam Zain al-Abidin was ill. You all know this story. And he could not participate. He had lost his mother at a very young age after he was born, and he was raised by Hussein. And on the day Hussein was sacrificed and taken from us, he couldn't help him either. And even when he tried, he told them to get him a stick and a sword. But Hussein replied to him, "You are God's proof on his creatures. You are God's proof on his creatures after I die. You must remain patient in this period." A man like Hussein, in the heat of battle, his whole family is being killed. And the one man who couldn't help him, he tells him, "You're everything after I die." The moral of that is that not everything has to be done through fighting, not everything has to be done a certain way. Everybody is put into place by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fulfill a certain role in this world. So find your role and perfect it and be the best you can at it. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Our second last segment today, before the Kahoot that you guys have all been waiting for and the prizes, is the Nasheeds by the Ahlul Bayt servant Sayid Haydar al-Awadi. Now he was here yesterday, and as I previously mentioned, he did not come here just to recite. He came here for a response. So, today, please help me in welcoming Sayid Haydar to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أسعد الله أيامنا وأيامكم بولادة أبطال كربلاء ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. بالعلم يا حسين لما قايسك، بالعلم يا حسين لما قايسك، بيك ظل محتار مذهول العلم، رادوا يعرفون شخصك يا شهيد، انت تحمل يا صنف من الزلم، جابوا ورق الأجهزة بعلم الحياة، التنطي معلومات عن أغرب رسم، دخلوا شفرة حياتك بالجهاز، والجهاز استقبل بسرعة الاسم، حللوا دمك طلع دم الرسول، حللوا جسمك طلع نفس الجسم، حللوا اسمك طلع 4 حروف، حللوا اسمك طلع 4 حروف، كل حرف يحمل مقاليد العزم، طلع حرف الياء، طلع حرف الحاء، حي على الجهاد، طلع حرف الحاء، حي على الجهاد، وطلع حرف السين، سيفك يا شهم، وطلع حرف الياء، يا ثار الإله، وطلع حرف النون، نصرك عالظلوم. قبل رمضان هاي الناس صامت، وعن الغيبة والبهتان صامت، وأنا رغم العطش لا ما صير صامت، أقرأ وما يأثر الصوم بيه. ما شاء الله شو خفت الصلوات مالتكم. فاطر وحق اللي بقدرته الكون، فاطر القلب من حب ابو السجاد، فاطر اللي يزور حسين زحمه يروح، فاطر ألذ فطور يا مبني الزكية. يا عطر أنفاسي أنت يا عباسي، يا عطر أنفاسي أنت يا وين صوتك؟ يا عطر أنفاسي أنت يا عباسي، يا عطر اسمك نقشته بالقلب يا عباس، وانا اسمك نقشته بالقلب، انسى غرامك شي صعب، وبحضرتك لما اطب كل مشاعر انقلب يا عباس، يا عزوته ونوماسي، يا عزوته ونوماسي، فرحان قلب بمولده، فرحان قلب بمولدك، صوت الموالي ردده يل ما تخالف موعده، شاغل افكار الوحده، ها بيك رافع راسي بس بيك رافع راسي، يا قمر واحلى من القمر، يا قمر واحلى من القمر، من ليك ايغار السهر ودي اشمك بالنحار، خادم إلك وبكل فخر يا يا الملكتك لاحساسي، يا عباس يا عباس يا عباس يا عطر انفاسي انت يا عباسي، يا عطر انفاسي انت يا صوت بالمولد لابو اليمه هتفنا، لا ابد والله ما ننسى حسين صوت بالمولد لابو اليمه هتف، لا ابد والله ما ننسى. وين صوتك؟ صوت بالمولد لابو اليمه هتف، لا ابد والله ما ننسى. بعد صوت بالمولد لابو اليمه، لا ابد والله مولد افراح وبشاير، مولدك يا ابن الزكية من قبل هالقاع والله، مولدك فوق الثريا قلبي فرحان ويردد يا حسين بهالمسية، بالفرح فد صوت كنا نتجه للغاضرية، نتجه لا تظن يا حسين طف الحق نسينا، لا أبد والله ما ننسى حسن، صوت بالمولد لابو اليمه هتف، لا أبد والله ما بعد، لا أبد والله بالولاد أحلى التحايا، سيدي لأرض المدينة نبعث لطه نبينا، نبعث الحدر ولينا، اليوم راية رفعنا باسمه بها خطينا بدينا، انت مصباح الهداية وانت يا حسين السفينة، وانت يا حسين السفينة، انت مصباح الهدى بالفطرة شفناه، لا أبد والله ما ننسى. وينك؟ صوت بالمولد يا ابو اليمه هتفناه، لا أبد والله ما بالولاد أحلى التحايا، سيدي لأرض المدينة نبعث لطه نبينا، نبعث الحدر ولينا، اليوم راية رفعنا باسمه بها خطينا بدينا، انت مصباح الهداية وانت يا حسين السفينة، وانت يا حسين انت مصباح الهدى بالفطرة شفناه، لا ابد والله ما انت مصباح الهدى بالفطرة شفناه، لا ابد والله. ضحك حيدر علي وابتسمة الهادي. تعال يمي، تعال بويه، مو تريد هوسات؟ ضحك حيدر علي وتبسم الهادي، وجبريل اليهيهل صوته وينادي، غادي يا حزن عن نشتمر غادي، خوتي شعبان وفرحان يا شعبان وفرحان، شعبان وفرحان يا شعبان. أقمار الولادة شعت الصوبين، قمر عباس يضوي والشمس لحسين، يا نور الجلال ما تضمك عينها خوتي مبروك الحيدر بولاده، مبروك مبروك الحيدر، مبروك الحيدر بولاده، مبروك الحيدر. شعبان الشهر متحزم حزامه، شعبان الشهر متحزم حزامه، من يمشي الفرح كان يمشي قدامه، بيام السعاده كلها بيامها خوتها. أقمار ولدت بجفوف، أقمار ولدت، أقمار ولدت بجفوف، أقمار ولدت، أقمار ولدت بجفوفه. ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
أحسنت سيد حيدر، جزاك الله خير. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Now we have a Najafi in the building. We have a voice born in Najaf. We have in our presence today to raise our spirits the one and only Farid al-Najafi. Please help me in welcoming brother Farid al-Najafi to the podium with a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. خليني أعيش بغمرة الفرحة على جناحك يا طير السعد، خليني وخذني وياك وين تريد أروح وياك، حتى لو على الغيمة تمشيني أروح وياك لآخر نجمة بالدنيا، وأقول لك بعد فوق الفوق وديني يا طير السعد واشبع سغر وياك، لو نخفى أصحيك وتصحيني، ولو أنك ناشدتني وقلت وين تريد أقول لك عالمدينة لو لحت عيني، هالليلة ولادة أبو الأحرار، هالليلة ولادة زين العباد، هالليلة ولادة قمر هاشم، هالليلة ولادة علي الأكبر، ونديم الشوق بالفرحة يباريني، وأهني بهالولادة فاطمة وحيدر، وانثر بالمسرة زهرة سنين يا طير السعد، وردود أطير وياك على يسار العشق والحب، على يميني وأهيم بحب نبينا وعشق أهل البيت، واليت النبي وآل النبي واليت وياهم انحشر وياهم تمنيت وصحت يا رب جلت ذاتك وجلت صل على النبي وآله كما صليت على إبراهيم وآله يا إله البيت. أحبك أحبك من قبل الولادة أحبك أحبك من قبل الولادة والباري أشكره والباري أشكره على هاي السعادة. أحبك أحبك من قبل الولادة أحبك أحبك لاده والباري أشكره والباري على هاي السعادة على هاي هذا مكتوب بنصيبي بس انت حبيبي مكتوب بنصيبي بس انت حبيبي دوم انت قريبي دوم انت قريبي والقلب عماده. احبك احبك من قبل الولادة أحبك أحبك من قبل الولادة والباري أشكره والباري على هاي السعادة على هاي حبك من حواني نساني شعاني حبك من حواني نساني شعاني وطهر لي كياني طهر لي كياني يا ذكرك عباده يا خير البريه فخر الهاشميه يا خير البريه فخر الهاشميه تكشف كل بليه بامر الله بعباده. احبك احبك من قبل الولاده احبك من قبل والباري أشكره على هاي السعادة والباري أشكره. صلى على محمد وآل محمد. ايدك حضرها وجابوا وياها. صباحا أتنفس بحب الحسين مساء أتنفس ويا ايدي ويا ايدي. صباحا أتنفس بحب الحسين مساء أتنفس بحب الحسين 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 بحب الحسين. صباحا أتنفس بحب الحسين مساء أتنفس بحب الحسين بحب الحسين بحب الحسين بحب الحسين. ما بكم حيل بحب الحسين. لذلك أقول أن لا تطول من المجلس هذا راح يصير. أوكي أما الصحيح لا إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة على الحسين لا إله إلا الله لا إله إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة على الحسين لا إله إلا الله صوت العرش صاح صوت العرش صاح هنونا بالهادي هنونا بالهادي صوت العرش صاح هنونا بالهادي هنونا بالهادي لا إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة على الحسين لا إله على الحسين وين الموالين رفعوها لأهلكم رفعوها لأهلكم وين الموالين رفعوها لأهلكم رفعوها لأهلكم لا إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة لا إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة على الحسين لا إله إلا الله وبجاه الحسين كل حاجة مقضية كل حاجة مقضية وبجاه الحسين كل حاجة مقضية كل حاجة مقضية لا إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة على الحسين لا إله إلا الله وبجاه الحسين كل حاجة مقضية كل حاجة مقضية لا إله إلا الله ألف الصلاة على لا إله إلا الله يا شهر شعبان قل لي كم قمر تحمل إلي يا شهر شعبان قل لي كم قمر تحمل إلي السبط حسين والعباس والسجاد علي يا شهر شعبان قل لي كم قمر تحمل إلي السبط حسين والعباس والسجاد علي والإمام المنتظر والأكبر النور جلي ها أخوتها عدنا كم والي ها أقمار تلالي ها عدنا كم والي ها أقمار تلالي تضوي دلالي ها تضوي دلالي ها تحلال الفرحة هالليلة تحلال هالليلة تحلال الفرحة هالليلة تحلال الفرحة تحلال الفرحة هالليلة افلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد
Ahsant, brother Farid. Jazakallah khair. Now we will begin our Kahoot portion. So we will get that shortly set up. You can discuss among yourselves, and then when I recite for salawat, we will get started. Just to let you guys know before we go, the prizes are $25 prepaid card, and then a couple Tim Hortons cards at around the same price. So it would be in your best interest to participate if you'd like. All the TVs around the qa'a, or the room, will have the Kahoot questions up, and you'll have a couple questions to answer. You'll have to sign in onto Kahoot on your phone. You put in the PIN code, it's 6 numbers, and it'll put you in. You put a name, and then at the end, the winners will get prizes. Some of the questions are from the 3 nights, from the lectures of Sayid Jawad. So if you were paying attention, some of those questions will be easy, some of them will not. Thank you. And